welcome back to my channel. I'm Tanvi, and today we are doing an episode of Kitchen Treks. This is a series on my channel where I try to make a recipe from around the world that I've never made before. Today, I'm gonna try to make Chicha Morada. All you're gonna need is a few ingredients. Number one, you're gonna need a pineapple, and we're actually gonna use almost all of the pineapple, like even the peel. So make sure when you're making this recipe to wash all of your fruits. You're also gonna need a pear and a Granny Smith apple. So originally, this recipe comes from like the Andes mountain region, and it came from the Incas. And they used to make a fermented version of this drink where I believe they used a fruit called the quince. And I'm sure you can get that fruit in parts of the world today, but I could not find it. But based on what I've read, it seems like this fruit, the quince, is actually described, sorry, that was my ice maker, is actually described as a cross between an apple and a pear. And so we're just gonna use both today, and this is gonna act as our quince. We're also gonna use another pear too, just to add a bit more flavor. But on top of these fruits, we're also gonna have 2 cinnamon sticks in our chicha and 2 to 3 cloves. However, the most important ingredient of all is actually the maiz morada, which is the purple corn. Now, I had a lot of trouble finding this. Originally, I was gonna use this, which is dried purple corn, but it didn't look like the corn that other people used. So I ended up ordering some from Amazon. If you've made Chicha Morada before, let me know if this is usable in this recipe or not down below, because I need to figure out how to use this. But right now, I am going to open up my package. Ooh, a lot of this is off of the cob, but that's okay. Normally they're supposed to be on the cob, but it's still usable off the cob. But you want to get a 15-ounce package of this purple corn. In this video, I'm making half a gallon of chicha, but if you want, just double my recipe and you'll get a full gallon. You can even reuse these corns to make another gallon afterwards, so it's a super resourceful drink. There's 2 in here that are intact. Never mind, there's not. It's all broken. Oh, it's like really messed up. It's okay. We're gonna call this 2 cobs of corn. Actually, I feel like that's a lot. I feel like this is more than half of the package. So we're gonna save this for later. After we steep all of these ingredients, you're also gonna need the juice of 1 lime and 3/4 cup of sugar. But let's get started on the recipe. I'm gonna put all of the steeping ingredients into this container right now. I'm gonna start off with the apple, and this is so easy. All we're gonna do is quarter it, take out the parts that have cyanide. I'm gonna fact check myself because do apple seeds actually have cyanide in it? I'm not sure, but I'll just say right here if they do or not. And we're just gonna put these like quarters in with the corn. Next, we're gonna tackle the pineapple. So this is the ingredient that I'm most scared to cut. We aren't gonna use this. That's probably gonna be sticky, whatever. And we're not gonna use the bottom, but we're gonna use everything else. So first I'm gonna take the peels off. I'm definitely cutting way too much into the parts that are like edible. Oh, I messed up. And we're gonna take this and just put it into our handy dandy glass container. Now we're gonna take out the core. So I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna cut it into a quarter, just so it's easy for me to take out the hard core part. And we're also gonna use this, surprise, surprise. The rest of this pineapple I'm gonna cube because we're gonna use it as like the topping for the drink. I know that there's lots of variations to this recipe just because it's been around for so long and people prefer different levels of spice. You can also buy this drink in like a powdered version, which really saves a lot of time, but that's not like, I'm sure it doesn't taste as great as making it from scratch. I'm on my last pineapple piece, and if you've seen any of my videos before, you know it takes me like way too long to cut things. It was probably 30 seconds for you guys in this video. For me, this took me like 15 minutes. When I was younger, I wanted to be a chef, but then I quickly realized you have to be fast at cooking to be a chef. Not only do you have to be good, not only do you have to come up with great recipes or know how to make the classics really well, you have to be fast. And that's when all of my dreams were crushed. Well, not all of them, just my cooking ones. Done with the pineapple. Now to move on to the pear. So same thing with that apple. I'm going to quarter, I feel like you can't eat that part. I'm not really familiar with the inside of pears. That's a weird thing to say. I don't eat pears, so I'm gonna get rid of this in case it has cyanide too. Regardless, we are going to quarter this pear and use as much of it as possible. And we're gonna add it to our steeping bowl. With this last pear, I'm just gonna cube it and add it to my bowl of pineapples. Most of these are not cubes, but it's fine. Slippery hands. I'm gonna cover this up and put it in the freezer until I'm ready to serve the Chicha Morada. Now for the easiest part of this recipe. And if you're anything like me, you do not know how many cups are in a gallon. So I'm gonna save you some estimation right here. For my recipe, I'm using half a gallon. So I'm just gonna need 8 cups. But if you're doubling this recipe and you're trying to make a gallon, then you're gonna need 16 cups. I had to look that up. But yeah, now we're literally just gonna fill this up with 8 cups for half a gallon and then dump all of our fruit in there and our ingredients that are gonna give this drink its spice. So here goes the thing. Here's 1, 6, 7, 8 cups. Now we plop our ingredients in. I'm gonna use a spoon to try to make sure that all of these ingredients are like either submerged or very close to submerged. Now I'm gonna bring this over to the stove. It's really heavy, so actually I'm gonna talk without carrying it right now. Now I'm gonna go take this over to the stove and bring it to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, I am going to simmer it for 30 minutes covered. So let's go. And don't forget, at this step, we're also gonna add in our cinnamon and our cloves. You see, it's already turning purple. Now that it's basically boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up and lower the heat to a simmer. And I'm gonna keep it here for 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes and now it's time to let it simmer uncovered. Oh my God. Whoa, look at the color. But yeah, now we let it simmer for 15 minutes uncovered. It's done. Notice how deep and rich the color is. That's when you know it's done. But now we strain. It smells so good. I'm trying to cover my white shirt in case it like plops everywhere. But before I pour this into a strainer, I'm gonna use some tongs and I'm gonna take out the big pieces so they don't splash around. So now I am going to strain the whole thing into my other big pot, and I'm really scared. That was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. While this mixture is still hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my panela, which is my sugar, and also the juice of 1 lime. Next, we're gonna add in our sugar. So this right here is 8 ounces of sugar, basically. And I need like 6 ounces of sugar. So I'm gonna have to eyeball it. So I put this in the microwave for around 20 seconds, and it should be way easier to cut now. Yeah, there we go. I've decided, come to an executive decision, that this is 6 ounces of sugar or panela, and this is 3/4 cup. And we're gonna let this dissolve. Shouldn't take long because the panela is pretty hot and the chicha is hot. Once the sugar has dissolved, go ahead and taste it while it's still a little bit warm. Oh my God, this is delicious. But this is where you want to see if you want to add more sugar or if you want to add less sugar. If you want to add more, go ahead and add like maybe a 1/4 cup more. But if you think this was too much sugar, don't add any more. You can't take away sugar. I would advise against diluting it. So next time you make it, don't add as much sugar. But I think for 1/2 gallon, 3/4 cup of sugar is perfect. Now we just want this to cool down as much as possible to like room temperature. And then you're gonna wanna pour it into a pitcher and put it in the fridge so it's cold and refreshing. It's been around 30-40 minutes and this has been cooling down in the fridge. And I went ahead and added my frozen pineapples and pears to the top. And I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a cup. And there we have it. Chicha Morada. Cheers. Oh my God, that's why people make a gallon. This is so good. Like, okay. It's fruity. It has warmed like spice notes, obviously, because it's like cinnamon and cloves. But it's like sweet and delicious. It is so good. But yeah, this is Chicha Morada. And if you liked this video, definitely try to make this at home. I have the recipe inspo and details down below. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, more kitchen treks, as well as travel videos, lifestyle and fashion content, make sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.